Hey guys, it's Celine again. Haha, yes, back again, back in business. Um, it will not leave me alone. So I'm gonna have a bit of a ramble here. This is more a ramble with hopefully some useful thoughts in there. That I think I have, I think I've actually found a part, at least, of an explanation. I get emotional even just talking about this. Um, about at least in a lot of different types of scenarios where men react badly to women, and I want to go into that in this video. Okay, I have seen this. We have seen this all over the place. We're seeing it every day, where a man is supposed to give an explanation for his behavior, and he will occasionally, or more often than not, I think, try to do that, and the explanation doesn't fit what it is that the female in the scenario gets to experience. There's like a they're out of phase. So there is always a state, I believe, in my experience, where in a relationship, rather than just think of the relationship that we're having, this man, this woman, I'm talking about male-female relationships here. If it applies to other types of relationships, or where those genders aren't as clearly defined, that'll be up to the person watching this eventually, hopefully, to make use of what I give here. What I'm saying applies to the experiences I have had, or that I've seen other people have, okay? Where there was actually a male and a female as such. Doesn't mean it doesn't apply elsewhere, or maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I haven't thought about that, or haven't looked at that, because you have to look first and then think. I think that's what I'm supposed to be doing here. What I'm saying here is that you have a relationship between a male and a female, and hopefully often you're in sync, you're in phase, and the world you live in is actually more or less the same world. Okay? In phase. So if one goes up, the other one goes down, or if one goes up, the other one also goes up, whatever works best. There's like a symmetry, or a working together, a process together. And then there's moments where you're not in phase. And it turns out that you're actually speaking a completely different language. And the female is coming at it from this side, like this, and the male is coming at it from this side, like so. And it seems like it doesn't matter anymore what it is that you say to each other, because the other one, he is Hebrew, assuming that's not your native speak, she hears an alien language, let me put it that way. You hear the noises, the mouth noises, and nothing else, really. Because the basic background of each of us as males or as females really is very different. So the thought I had, I'm going to get to my thoughts here, hopefully, and explain why I'm here today, what it is that I want from you, as if. I think that whenever a man reacts badly to his female partner, it is because, and this has been said before, but I just felt it very clearly this way just now, it is because she is different from his expectation of her and of the phase and of the situation. She is deviant. She is diverging from his expectation, okay? The fact of the divergence, so going off to, on a parallel path here or a sideways path, triggers separation anxiety that he used to have with his mom, or maybe still has. And my husband, when I explained this to him, he immediately referred to what in Europe is sort of a, kind of a thought that people tend to have about Italian men who are very fond of their mamas, And no matter what you do as a wife to a man, you can never cook as well as his mama. I am sure this happens in France and in other Latin countries as well. A lot. It's old school. It really is very old school. But it is the what I'm trying to niggle at isn't about the actual cooking or the dressing or the length of the hair or the talk that comes out of her or even the emotion that comes out of her. It is much more basic. I'm postulating here that there is such a thing as a much more basic, older, deeper level of being where what the man sees, the strange alien person that is a man, if there is such a creature in the whole wide multiverse, what he sees or what he gets to experience rather than seeing is this divergence, much more than where she's actually going or how it is that he feels the cold. Suddenly is in the cold again. He is alone again. This kind of stuff, I have revisited this kind of weird, fearful, childlike state for myself also, often enough, where I am so often wondering whether there aren't way more womb twin survivors, for example. There is this huge level of separation anxiety going on in the world that's like fundamental. It's a fundamental premise on which our natures as human beings, whatever gender, whatever sex, whatever type, are built. And it's really scary. And it is like you have this body and you're born in a body and you have to figure out how to be a body with all the, bits and things. And its capabilities and its limits and its boundaries and so on and so forth. And then you start believing all that stuff when you're like, 6 years old. You're believing in how you've adapted. You've completely forgotten. I certainly completely forgot the positive sides to my own nature, to my own sensitivity, to my own capabilities for participation and surrender and joy and, amalgamation even with life, with people. Because it had been made impossible in my life to be a part of somebody else's life, had been made completely impossible by the people whose child I really am, for different reasons. And I've explained over the past couple of years on this channel what it has meant to me to have traumatized parents with, war trauma and concentration camp things like that. And it is really hard to how I have had to rebuild myself emotionally first, to quite an extent, where I had to rebuild my strength quite a lot and then use the strength to, because that's what I need. I need to understand this stuff. I need to understand where things come from. Otherwise, it is just a great big huge hall of pain all this whole life. Even if the sun is shining and it's springtime and the birds are singing and actually everything just looks more or less bloody perfect from here where I'm sitting. I've got crystals, I've got a cup of tea, I've got you guys, I've got more tarot decks than I can ever finish in my whole life. You know, I've got all the beautiful things. I've been to the market, it's fine. But, and I suppose this is what they mean in Buddhism by compassion. It is as much part of us as our separation is a part of us. And it all has to do with each other. It all ties in with each other. It's all connected really tightly. And 99.999% of that whole, thing that makes us who we really are in our bodies, in this life, right here, it actually sits beneath the surface. And we don't even have a chance to communicate about it because nobody does that. And I'm trying to do that on this channel. I'm trying to give to the world some of the things that I've fished out of the multiverse wherever I could, as according to my specifications, according to how I function, things that work for me. So in this particular case, in this particular circumstance, I was struck suddenly by how the fact that I am different, even though I do not myself, I know I'm kind of witchy and kind of, more or less slightly unconventional. I think I'm harmless. I've never been able to figure out why it is that people are scared of me. I'd never bite. I don't even bark very often, I am utterly harmless. And I have been scared of people my whole life. And tried to cope with that and tried to, keep a poker face or pretend like it doesn't matter or like it doesn't really make much of a difference what you do or you say. Yes, it does make a lot of difference what you do and what you say. It does. And once fear has control of us, there's no way we can make sense to other people or to ourselves. Fear is the devil. Fear is the true. It makes us paralyzed. It's impossible to live with. I've fought against fear for all my life. Tried to have an identity apart from, and there you have it again, identity and separation. You need those, right? You need both of them. Apparently it's all part of the scheme of things. But when people are afraid of us, that's like this, what do you call those things? Like a dropping fence gateway in an archway, poof, that falls down. There's no way you're going to communicate with them ever again. And men aren't afraid of females so much. They're afraid of their mums, because the mum, just like my mum had right of life and death over me, she didn't want that. Her mum had it over her. And that's what I try to tell you people on this channel over and over also, is that it goes back in time. When you have this humongous beef with one of your parents, or with both of them, like in my case, and you're just hammering away at it for years and years, trying to find a way to either communicate with them in a way that's halfway decent, or, you just choose to not do it anymore for whatever reason, you know. I'm trying to compute each time that there is a reason why those people behave the way they do or did. In always, there is, in my belief, there is always a reason why they behave this way. Exactly this way, and not any of 5 other options that they might choose to apply. See? There is always the fact that this person does this. It isn't about what they're actually saying or, you know, how they're, it's a result of a chemistry that was going on long before you came into the picture. Yeah. If I say this and I apply it then afterwards to myself, I'm like, whoa, blown away by the thought that I was born into my mother's life when she was 32 years old. Her mother had already passed away. The only survivor in that family of the parents was the granddad, who has always been really friendly towards me. And I grew up in a situation not knowing that all the stuff that was being poured over me all the time was actually, it belonged to other people. It wasn't just her. It wasn't just her. There is always their mother. There is always their father. There is always back in time. So I'm hoping this is of interest and of use to somebody out there. If so, you're welcome. Because I'm, you know, all about this. All about the eventual freedom that we will realize together only. You cannot be free if you sit here by yourself and just do whatever you like. You can do whatever you like as long as you want, but it will not compute into freedom eventually, I think. Not if there's issues to be resolved. Maybe it is possible for some people. Have a good day. Thank you for watching. And this is a fairly short one now. So good, right? I hope I managed to get across what it is that I was obsessing about. If not, I will be back. Thank you for watching. See you then. Ciao.